Hey guys, Arun here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do EDA analysis in data science. EDA analysis or exploratory data analysis is one of the important steps in data science. It will uncover the insights, in-depth analysis of the data that we are going to deal with it. So before we apply the machine learning models, we must understand how the data is interrelated, how the data can be used in a very efficient way. There are a lot of methods for doing the EDA analysis. Here I'm going to show you just the important one. First I'm going to import the pandas library. So I'm going to write import pandas as pd. So now I'm going to read my data frame. So today I have taken an example of Titanic data set. So I'm going to write pd.read csv, or inside the brackets I'm going to put my file path here. Now I have read the CSV file in a df variable. So if we want to know about the dimension of the file, we can use df.shape. So this is going to give you the number of rows and number of columns. Here we have 891 rows and 12 columns. Now if you want to see the top 10 values of your data, you can use the head function. I can put df.head. So inside the parenthesis, you have to put 6 or 7. What are the number of rows you want to see? So it will give you the top 7 rows. So here the index starts from 0. So it is giving up to 6. So you can view the top results, top 7 results. In case if you want to see the bottom 10 or 5 results, you just need to put the tail function. So tf.tail, and inside the parenthesis you can put the number, or else by default it will give you the bottom 5. So if I put here 6 8, let's say is 8, so I will get the bottom 8 values. So these are the bottom 8 values in our data. Next I'm going to show you how to use describe commands. I'm going to write df.describe. So this describe command usually gives out the basic statistical details like a count, mean, standard deviation, etc. So with this you can see what are the mean, standard deviation of a numeric values that are present in your data. Next we are going to see about types of the data. So you can write your data frame and you can put info. So it will give you the types of the data that your column has in your data. So if you see here, this one has data types of float 64 and 5 integer values and 5 object values. So the object values are here are cabin, embarked, and namesakes. So these are objects, and you can check the memory usage as well. So memory usage in here in the data is 83.7 KB plus KB. Next, I'm going to show you how to use value counts function. So it will return the number of unique values that are present in your columns. For example, let us say I'm going to check what are the unique values present in my 6 column. So I write the data frame and I write this column name and I put value counts function, open parenthesis and close parenthesis. It will give me that, okay, this column, 6 column has 577 male and 314 female. So the data type also it will give you, it is in an integer form. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to check for duplicates present in your data. So let us say I'm going to declare a variable rows here and I'm going to call my data frame. Inside the data frame I'm going to write df.duplicated. So this function will give you the number of duplicates present in your entire data. So if I write rows, so I can see there are no duplicates present. If you have any duplicate values that are present, it will be reflected over here. Next, I'm going to show you how to deal with missing or null values. So here I write df, and the seasonal function will give me what are the number of missing values. If it is a true, then the value is missing. If it is false, then we have the value. Now I'm going to write the sum function here, which will give me the exact values in numbers. Okay, so if you see here, age has 177 missing values and cabin has 687 missing values. So if you want to drop the missing and null values, you can use the drop now function. So here I'm going to write df equal to df drop now. So what this function will do is this function will drop all the null values that are present in the data. Now all the missing or null values has been dropped. Now let me execute this line again. So you can see here all the values have become 0. That means there are no null values present in my data right now. Next, we are going to look into the one of the important step in the exploratory data analysis, which is detecting outliers. For this, we often usually use visualization methods to find out what are the outliers that are present in our data. So right now I'm going to use Seaborn library, and I'm going to use a box plot, which is like a traditional method to find if there is any outlier present in your data. Now I'm going to write sns dot box plot, sorry, sns dot box plot. Inside the brackets, I'm going to specify what is my x value. So here I'm going to use, let's say I'm going to check for a fair column. So what are my outliers that are present in this column? So here I'm going to pass that as a x value. Inside that I'm going to write fair. So once I execute it, you will receive the box plot. So box plot uses the IQR method to display the data and outliers. But in order to get the list of identifier outlier, we need to use the mathematical formula and retrieve the outliers. So in other words, IQR is the first quartile subtracted from the third quartile. This quartile you can see it from the box plot. So the points outside this line are called outliers. So this first box is called Q1 and the second box is Q3. The one dividing the Q1 and Q3 is a median. So here I'm going to write Q1 and I'm going to put df dot quantity, and I'm going to write 0.25. So I'm going to specify Q2 as well, Q3 as well. So df dot quantile, Q quantile, and I'm going to put 0.75, which is nothing but my third quartile. So IQR is nothing but Q3 minus Q1. So once this is executed, I'm going to print my IQR value. So you can see here, these are my IQR values. So passenger ID has 412 and age has 23.5, fare has 60.30. Now we are going to use this IQR range to remove the outliers. So I'm going to write df equal to df titled, and I'm going to specify my lower bound value, which is nothing but Q1 minus 1.5 into IQR parenthesis, then, and I'm going to give my upper bound range. So basically whatever values that are not coming in between these ranges will consider as outlier, and these will be removed in this piece of code. So once I execute it, you can see that my outliers is removed. So I'm going to check the shape of my data. The shape of the data is now 142 rows and 12 columns. So you can see here the lot of numbers of rows has been dropped because of outliers. The actual number of rows is 891, and here I have only 142. So close to around 600 plus rows has been dropped as an outlier. So this is the one of the way that using the IQR range we can remove the outlier easily from your data. Next we are going to see about univariate analysis. So if we take a one column in the data and we do analysis on that one column alone, it is called as a univariate analysis. One of the most common method we are using here is a histogram. So here I am going to write sns dot histplot, and inside that my data is going to be in my data frame. So it is df. The x value I'm going to, now I'm going to take only one column, which is a age column here. So once I execute it, you can see here histogram has nicely plotted the distribution of the data. So we can see here most of the data are lying in between 10 to 70. So next I'm going to show you how to analyze two variables or bivariate analysis. So here one of the common method that I'm going to use a heat map. So before that I'm going to see the correlation between the variables. So here I'm writing core equal to df dot correlation, and I'm going to use the method Spearman. So these are the correlations between the columns that are present in my data. So now we can use this core function. Now we can use this core variable to plot the heat map. So I'm going to write sns dot heat map, and inside that I'm going to specify my core variable, and I'm going to put my anode as a true. Sorry, it should be anode equal to true. Okay, now the heat map has been generated. The darker color represents the high correlation and the lighter shade represents the less correlations. So these are some of the general methods that you should follow in order to perform EDA analysis. Thank you for watching.